Everybody, what's up everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up everybody? It's April Dawn. What up everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk
What up everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is 911 season 4 episode 4. So this was another episode. It was kind of cute. It wasn't too much going on in this episode, which I appreciated. They let our nerves have a break 1 week, okay? So I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we see a neighborhood gathering. It's a barbecue. It's a block party going on. And we got a Karen that's over the fence hollering at the kids about shooting a water gun. And they shoot her with the water gun, which I thought was hilarious. And I feel like that's what we should do to all the Karens. Okay. And so she calls 911 and May answers the phone. She's still in training with her supervisor. And she tells her about the law. Because basically the lady's like, there's hooligans running around with guns out here. And she was like, what kind of guns, ma'am?
It's a water gun and they're just out here just doing all type of shenanigans and I can't take it.
And she's like, is this an actual emergency? You know it's a misdemeanor to call 911 if you're not reporting an actual emergency. So she tells her about the law, and as she's telling her about the law, the lady's like, oh, so now I'm the criminal. Okay, so if y'all not gonna handle it, then I'm gonna handle it. And then we hear a shot, a shot, and some noise, and then we hear her fall into the pool. So she like, what's going on? What's going on? So they dispatch the police out there. Arrives on the scene, and we see the lady is in the pool. She is dead to the pool, honey. Shout out to Dineva. And shot herself in the chest. And so we see that Chimney is also acting weird with Buck. He's like, excuse me. He's acting all strange and weird. And everybody's like, what's going on? People are noticing that he's acting weird because we know Maddie have told him this secret last week. The door was locked. The gate was locked. Thina is the one who kicked in the gate. And so, they're like, it's a mystery. What happened? What neighbor did she get on their nerves enough to kill her or whatever? Detective comes there and he almost trips over they have a gnome that's in the pool area. So I felt like this was the foreshadowing, which it was. And we learned that Delilah, her name is not Delilah, it was Delia. Her name was Delia Norwood, and she had called the police 13 times in the past 6 months. So baby ain't had nothing to do but call the police on people. Then we see Maddie and Chimney having a talk, and guess who's coming into town? Mama and Daddy is coming into town. And so, like I said, he tripping about knowing his secret because apparently he can't keep no secrets. And he says that, obviously Buck is going to be upset that she waited so long to tell or whatever. And so she's like, listen, he was gone, what I'm saying? I had to do here. And because Chimney is like, well, your parents asked you to keep the secret when you was 9. Like, that's crazy for them to ask you to do that, whatever, right? And so, like I said, he just tripping about having to keep the secret because he can't hold water. So she goes to tell Buck, and Buck is pissed because she waited to the last minute to basically they were in California to tell that they were coming. He says, well, I just want my baby to have a normal family and perhaps know their grandparents. And he was like, well, maybe you should have got knocked up by somebody who actually got a normal family too. And I was like, Buck, don't do that. Now, that was mean. Don't do that, Buck. And she was like, well, maybe this is going to help you with your therapy. And he was like, maybe I'm going to need more therapy after this happens. Well, she's willing to try. You know what I'm saying? So they decide they're going to be a united front, and Chimney and Albert will be in attendance. Then we see Chimney and Albert, they're playing basketball. And Albert is like, why do I have to come to this? I don't want to meet these people. He like, you my family. I'm your family. That's her family. So family's going to be one family. So I need for you to meet them. He's like, you are acting weird. Buck is right. You acting real different. He think you hiding something. He was like,
I am hiding something.
So he says, basically, I know this secret that Maddie has told me. And why did she tell me this secret? I can't keep no damn secrets. But I'm going to tell you because you my brother and you got to listen to me. He like, no, don't tell me nothing. I don't want to know nothing. Don't tell me nothing. So he was like, you're my brother. You have to listen to me. So as he goes to tell the secret, Albert started running away. And that's what I would have did too. I'd have ran straight away from you. Not about to keep me up in this mess. Okay? That's what you're not going to do. So back at the station, they looking for Buck. And Buck is with the therapist because he had to do a last minute de-escalation techniques because he know it's about to be on and popping with these parents. Once again, Chimney over there dropping silverware, acting weird, acting funny. And everybody is like, what is going on? And Hen is like, I feel like it's a story with Maddie and Buck. Like, you see the difference between the two of these people? Like, they act different. I don't know. It's something going on. And he like, child, you have no idea, child. It's a mess. And they like, well, what's going on? What do you do? He's like, I mean, if we all knew, then we could talk about what we knew. And, we would all know it. And we can discuss how we all know it and how it affects all of us if we all knew. You know what I'm saying? And he like, blah, blah, blah. And then he look at them and they looking at him. And he's like, oh, I got to go. And he run. He ran away and slid down the thing. I was like, and her daddy. I can't never remember the daddy's name, y'all. I think it's Michael or something like that. So she feels guilty about the phone call that happened. She can't shake off the fact that maybe she did something wrong, even though her supervisor told her that she did everything right. She didn't make any wrong moves. So he don't really know what to say with her. He's just trying to be supportive because she tells him to dad up. He said he was going to be supportive, and I need for you to be supportive. And so he says, well, she says, well, you was with mom for so many years. How did you deal with this? And he said, well, to be honest with you, your mom really didn't talk about it. She left her work at work. When she came home, that was it. She didn't really speak to me about it. So all I can tell you to do is talk to your mother about these things. Dina meets up with the detective, and they go to interview the neighbors that Delia called the police on. Apparently, she complained a whole lot about her neighbors, everything, small things, big things, all the things, okay? So they interviewed the lady. She harassed her daughter about having a lemonade stand, talking about they ain't had no permits. There was another couple that she interviewed, and the woman had some cakes she liked baking because it's been a quarantine, so she done took up baking all kind of cakes, right? And then the man was like, the bitch is miserable. She ruins everything. You know what I mean? The whole she pitiful child. So then they interview another gay couple, and the gay couple, she poisoned their dog because the dog kept getting into this lady's yard. And so he said that, you know, he told her that she was going to burn in hell. And he was like,
wishes do come true.
I was like, I know that's right. He was like, no, y'all know we ain't kill her, right? I mean, I'm just going to say what we going to say, period. You don't do that to no dog. I know that's the hell right, okay? All the suspects have alibis, and all the alibis are for each other. So it's like the murder on the Orient Express. Who killed this lady? The parents arrive, and they are rude to Buck from the jump. Okay, from as soon as they walk in the door. They see Maddie. I think they gave him a hug, but they had a lot of gifts for the baby. When Buck come up there, I was like, he was like, you're doing good. He just pat him on the back like he was his little boy. Like he was a little boy that he didn't know. Like, it was just strange to me. You know, Albert is like, okay, does anybody want a drink? I'm going to start off with tequila. Y'all need a drink? He was like, you still letting people call you Buck? And he was like, I mean, it's just a nickname, y'all. Like, chill out or whatever. So Howard or Chimney comes up there, and he's like, do people call you Howard? And he was like, yeah, basically like, I ain't telling you my nickname. I don't want no smoke. They have a little small talk about the drive. They're just rude all the time. They felt like it was the best way to come because, you know, Maddie is having a high-risk pregnancy, and Chimney's like, well, you know, I mean, it's not really high-risk. You know, she doing real good. And it was like, well, no, she over 35, so, you know, it's a high-risk pregnancy. We have to be extra careful since you waited this long. I was like, these people are a hot mess, okay? They're like, oh, they told us that you was seeing a therapist. And Buck was like,
you did. You told them my business. Oh, okay.
You know, it's just a job. It's stressful. You know, it's good to have somebody to talk to about the job or whatever. He was like, oh, okay. Well, we went to go see the therapist too after that whole situation with Maddie. And she was like, you went to go see the therapist about my problems? He was like, well, you didn't want to talk to us about it. You know what I'm saying? Your problems or whatever. So, you know, we talked to a therapist about it. And so Buckets get up. He like, okay, I'm finna go to the kitchen because I can't. And so when he leaves, they're like, oh, he seems like he's fine. He seems like he's doing good. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. And she was like, I think that he really is good at pretending like he's good. He's not actually good. You know what I'm saying? So we with Thina and the detective, and they figure out that someone has broken into Delia's house. And the good thing is they found some flour. So we already know it's the couple, the woman that was baking all that stuff, broke into Delia's house. And they figure out that the lady name is not Rita. Her name is something else. And she wanted for bigamy, child, all type of crimes. So they show up, they arrest this lady, and he's like, you're arresting my wife. And she was like, but guess what? The real tea is she not even your wife. She Bob, she John, she Justin's wife. Okay, but she ain't your wife. And she was like, damn, y'all know, damn, y'all know about that? Oh, okay, well, damn. And she's like, I can explain, baby. And she's like, and this gun is the gun that shot this lady. Well, that might be a little harder for me to explain. So they go ahead and take her away. Maid comes home and she tells Bobby about the call that happened. And he's, you know, she asking him questions about how did he deal with. She talked to everybody but her mama, basically. And so he's like, well, you know, the way I used to deal with it is I used to drink alcohol and pop pills. But, you know, I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. And he said it's only natural for you to feel like, you know, you wanted to save her. There's something else you could have done to save her, but you couldn't. You couldn't save her, but there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. That just means that you care, and that's fine. So that's basically it. They little pep talk. But he's basically like, you need to talk to your mama. You need to talk to your mama. Next morning, We see that May has finished with her training and that she is flying solo, honey. So she doesn't have to sit with the manager no more and listen on the calls. She can do the things herself. So we see her getting a lot of routine calls. You know, 911 have a lot of frivolous calls that people call, like my roommate stole my drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like all kind of stuff like this, right? I got a meter, I got a ticket, but the meter was expired, girl. Things of this nature. So then we get a call from Stan Whitmore, and I promise you, I was like, JG Whitmore, 877.com. Like I promise you, I thought that as soon as he said Stan Whitmore. He says that she sound real nice, and you know why people lie and why people do him like they do him, baby. And he about to teach everybody a lesson, honey. He finna blow their head off. He had planted a bomb. So later on, they say, well, the manager come to her like, oh, it was a false alarm. You know, they checked his job, his last job, you know what I'm saying? And it must have been just a false alarm or whatever. It was a prank. So she was like, nah, I've been looking at his social media. And, you know, he done got fired from buku jobs. And they're like, okay, what's the last job he got fired from? Then we see the police show up down to the job, the last job. And the lady is rushed out. They trying to get everybody out the building. Chimney is dispatched down there to help him and Eddie. And so they go down up in there and he tells Eddie to go on by his business. He gonna check this place, you know, check that place or whatever. So he gets down to the basement because they have a janitor that's having an asthma attack. And he finds him, but then he realized the janitor is JG Whitmore, 877.com, right? So he like talked to the man, you know, he like, you an expert on this, right? Yeah, I'm finna blow you niggas up, you know what I'm saying? I'm an expert, this is what I do, you know what I mean? Because apparently he was the demolition guy for the people on the job. He had worked there for 20 years and something happened, an accident, and you know, they fired him, they let him go. So he has a dead man switch in his hand, which means that he's holding the switch down. And if he lets it go or if he gets shot, anything happens to him, obviously it's going to let go and it's going to blow everybody up. So Chimney uses this opportunity to tell him the secret that he's been wanting to tell somebody. And so they kind of talk about it like, damn, they've been keeping this secret from his whole life. Yeah, bro, it's crazy, right? He like, bro, I'm just telling you, like, wow, that's off the chain. He tells him he's so happy to be, you know, excited to be a father and that Maddie is great. Like, he going on and on with the man, kind of trying to get his mind off. So the man is having an asthma attack and he offers him an asthma pump. And he's like, it's not a trick. I promise you it's not a trick. So he reach out to take the asthma pump and Chimney knock his ass upside the head and is like, sir, we all got problems. Okay, but you can't be out here just blowing people up because you got problems, sir. I mean, I'm sorry. It is what it is. And he gives him a shot, you know, the shot they put him in their leg so they won't die. And as they taking him out, Stan is like, is that you Buck? And he like, yeah, I'm Buck. He was like, oh shit, like it's true. You wasn't lying. Get on the ambulance. Get on the ambulance. Now mind your business now. I was telling you this, don't worry about Buck. Ken figures it out that whatever the secret is about Buck, and he's like, oh my God, he said, I'm so sorry, but I made a promise. I cannot tell you anything. And she's like, oh my gosh, look at you. You're growing up. You're being like a better person and stuff. Look at you. And he's like, do you think keeping a secret from somebody you love is okay? And she said, well, it depends on what the secret is for. And he was like, well, I mean, they say they're protecting him, but they're lying to him basically. And she was like, well, basically, I know why he feels like he's alone. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, whatever happens, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Okay, so I ain't got nothing to do with this. I understand, hey, do what you do. You know what I mean? Don't tell nobody, but don't put me in it because I ain't got nothing to do with it. You see, Thena and the detective, they are questioning Miss Rita, and she let them know, you know, she was a lawyer at one time in her other life, so she don't need no lawyer. She's good. And she said the gun was registered to her, but she did not kill this lady. The lady had the gun, okay, when she went there. When the shots happened. And it was like, well, how she got the gun? She was like, okay, so basically she was stealing my mail. She was blackmailing me. So she went over there and pointed the gun at her like, I kill you. I shoot you. Okay. Homegirl's like, what you gonna shoot me? Then you gonna go back home and they figure out this gun is registered to you. See, it's like, girl, this plan is not good. So she knocks the gun out of her hand, or the girl trips over the gnome and the gun falls out of her hand or something like that. Said she got it back after they heard the shot fired. She ran over there. She looked over the gate. She stuck her hand under the gate and the dog came over there and the dog was trying to like mess with her. She like, get away from her, trying to get this for the police get here. So she threw the dog toy. The dog went off and, you know, she stuck her hand under the gate and, you know, wiggled the gun back up under the gate. As they leave, dude was like, okay, well, let me see your hands. So she showed him the hands, and the detective is like, I know her story sounds crazy, but like, I low-key believe her. So they start to think. She has no nail missing. The lady who got killed, Delia, had a nail missing. So basically they're saying that she called the police. When she said, I'm gonna handle it myself, she picked up the gun, she walks back, something startled her, she turned around, she trips over the gnome, and she shot herself. And they figured out what startled her was that damn dog. The dog was, came up in her yard again. She saw the dog, she yelled at the dog, she tripped over the gnome, and the lady done shot herself, child. Parents and Chimney, we back with the parents, and they talking again about how Chimney's job is so risky. He said, well, I just think he needed somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? He felt alone or whatever the case may be. And she was like, your job is just so risky. I'm scared or whatever, because I heard Evan's been in the hospital, so many times. And he was like, you heard? Well, you could have came to the hospital, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I'm not good in hospitals, I just not good with seeing my children in the hospital. And Maddie kind of stops her from going on. And so then they bring out this baby box. So they have this baby box with Maddie's little toys and things that she's had since she was a small child. And so Evan is like, this is cool. I didn't know you made this for us. When am I going to get mine? And they was looking at him like, you ain't got one. Who said you had one? Like, no
matter what the decisions you made that we didn't like, we just never gave up hope that you would get your brains back together, because you was out there doing stupid shit. And you know what I'm saying? We just knew that eventually you was gonna bring it back home, baby.
Was pissed. At this point, he's done. He says, never. Never, ever? Never, ever, ever? You didn't even go to her wedding. And she like, hold up. He's like, nah, You cut her off after she married Doug. And he was like, well, Dad was like, at the time, we thought it was the best thing, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know that he was hurting her. And he said, you should have known. You was right there in the same time. But you know what? Never mind. Because y'all barely knew what was going on with us in the house. We was living up in there together. Okay? You gave up on her. Both of us. Why is he in therapy? Because he feels like he's a constant disappointment. And you think his job is dangerous? Well, baby, he walked through fire every day he was up in that house with them, feeling like he was never good enough. And she's like,
we tried. You never made it easy for us. What do you expect from us?
He was like, I expected for you to love me anyway. And he walked out the room. Maddie is pissed. She crying, baby. She pregnant. She crying. And she just get up and leave at this point. Fucking Eddie, they're talking. He punching the punching bag. He upset. He said he just feel like he's 12 years old. Like it just take 5 minutes to bring him back to when he's 12. He feel bad about what he said. Now he got to plan his awkward apology. And Eddie is like, apologize for why? Okay, like, did you lie?
Did you lie? Did you lie?
Like, what? Phone rings. Maddie is calling him. She's worried about him, obviously. So Thina goes in and to the job, and this guy congratulates her, and she's like, we caught a dog, like it ain't that deep, relax. And he's like, no, about your daughter, she saved so many people, congratulations. Okay, thank you, I'm proud of her. I'm proud, you know what I'm saying? So she goes home, and we see that later on that evening they have a little celebration for May, and she's like, well, I'm so happy for you, because Mama planned it, and what's his name didn't tell her. Bobby didn't tell her. And so she's like, well, I wish you would have told me. And May is like, I just wanted to find my own way. And she's like, well, you did, and I'm so proud of you. So that was a cute moment. Maddie and Buck talk, and obviously he's embarrassed about what happened, because she says, I don't need you to defend me. He was like, it's all good. You shouldn't have to do that in front of your parents or whatever. And so he says he's sorry because he knows that she's trying to fix things with the parents. And she's like, I'm trying to fix them for us, not just for me. And she tells him that he's never been a disappointment. And then they start looking at the box, and he's like, well, I didn't know parents were so sentimental. And she's like, well, they used to be different. So as he's looking in the box, he finds a picture, and the picture is from 1988. It don't look like it's from their house. He thought it was him at first, and he was like, wait a minute, who is this? And she was like,
it's our brother, Daniel.
I knew it had to be somebody named Daniel in this show, okay? Because that's like a basic standard white boy name, Daniel. And thank you for the person who told me that Eddie's son name is Christopher. I appreciate that, okay? So, and that's how the episode went off, child. So we're going to find out about Daniel. Is Buck adopted? Is he her real brother? Or they just had him later and they just made him feel like that because they had another brother that passed away? Because it got to be something else other than they had a brother that died, because that would be, it's important, but it wouldn't be that, wow, my God, like a wow moment. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what happened, baby. What went on? So it was a good episode. Like I said, it wasn't full of drama. It gave us pretty much the run-of-the-mill, 911 type of situation. But I was glad to get my nerves a break for 1 week. So I want to hear what you thought about the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to follow me on social media, you can at Watch Dawn of A. And I will holler at you guys next week. Peace.